My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. I'm going to give you my favorite PrizePicks entry for UFC 294. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say more or less than the numbers you see on the screen, and you can 10 times your money. You will even get free money to try it. All you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks. Use promo code WWP and they will instantly match your deposit. If you throw out $20, they'll give you $20. Give them $100, they'll give you $100. You can then take the free money. You don't even need to use your real money. Take the free money and build yourself an entry. wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, promo code WWP. Get the free money, build an entry. I am going to focus on UFC here, UFC 294 specifically. But if we look across the top, this is every single sport. Basketball, the NFL, college football, baseball. We got the playoffs going on. Hockey starts soon. Soccer, golf, every sport you could ever want, including video games, which I will never understand how the hell you do video game daily fantasy. But either way, let's go ahead and dive in. Typically, when I do these videos, I'm not a huge fan of these significant strike lines because those are subjective numbers. It's literally a person with a counter being like, that was significant. Nah, was it? I don't know, maybe. And you get like weird adjustments after the fight. But these lines are tricky. We have a lot of massive favorites that are supposed to blow people out, which is throwing off some of these lines. So I actually do like a couple of significant strike lines here. The first of which is Trevor Peek at 30.5. He has gotten past that number in every single UFC fight he's had. He has never not gotten past that number. I don't see why this fight would be any different. The only way he doesn't get past this number is if he knocks out Muhammad Yahya in like 30 seconds. I don't see that happening. Muhammad Yahya is still, he gets hit, but he is tough. He does know how to fight. And yeah, he can be gun shy, but all that's going to do is give Trevor Peek more opportunity to land more strikes. Even in early stoppages, Trevor Peek's getting past 30.5 significant strikes. So I like that line. Then if we take a look at our main event buddy, Islam Makhachev at 55.5. We'll do more on Trevor Peek. I like the less here. He did not get to this number in the last fight. The first time he fought Alexander Volkanovski, he didn't get to 55.5. I think this fight is going to be even more wrestle heavy. Potentially Islam by finish, and that has nothing to do with, short notice for Volkanovski. Very short notice for Volkanovski. I think Islam learned some lessons in that last fight. I don't think he was necessarily expecting Volkanovski to be as tough as he is, as durable as he is, as solid cardio as he has. And I think he's going to be all in on the wrestling here. He's supposed to fight Charles Oliveira. He got Charles to the ground last time and submitted him. I think that was the route he was going to go this time as well. Again, if we have an exact replica of the last fight, he still doesn't get to this number. I think Islam is even more dominant in this fight, not getting to that number. The rest of these lines are very tricky. Cedric Dumas, this fight could end almost immediately. It could get dragged out. Anshul Jubilee, less than 48.5 is something I'm thinking about because I think he's going to wrestle Mike Breeden and just wet blanket him. But, these are all very tricky. Javid Bajrat, 75.5. He's tricky because people land on Victor Henry. Javid is a good striker, but he could also wrestle. I don't like any of these other lines enough to do anything with. If we go to fantasy score, what I like to do is find that heavy favorite that they think is just going to clean somebody's clock, and I think it's going to be a much closer fight and play the less. But I don't see any of those here. Khamzat Chimaev, potentially, right? If it goes to a decision and it's not that busy, maybe, but the rest of these numbers look good. All of these people should win and should score fairly well. Like literally all of them. Said Nurmagomedov is one that potentially could be upset. Javid Bajrat may not get to this number if it's just a boring pick-apart striking match. Victoria Dudikova may not. But I'm not confident enough to throw any of that in my entry. So we will go to fight minutes. The one that I love here, I originally had Said Nurmagomedov at 10 fight minutes. If you're a premium member, you saw this entry at more than 10 fight minutes, and that has been on the board for a few days now. They have moved that line to 12.5 fight minutes. I still think this goes to a decision, so I'm still going to play it. But I will show you the entry I already built so you can see why it is important to become a premium member and get access to this information early, because one line like this moving could throw off your entire slate. Another one I'll look at, if you don't like that 12.5, We already have Trevor Peek, so I'm not going to touch that one anyway. Sharbutin Magomedov, not going to touch that one. Either one of these dudes could get knocked out almost immediately. I do think Anshul Jubli, 10.5 fight minutes, I think that's a solid more. Frankly, Anshul's not the most dangerous guy in the world. He did just come off a finish over Jekka. He's not the most dangerous guy in the world, and despite being knocked out almost immediately by Terrence McKinney, Mike Breeden is actually a decently durable guy, and that fight with Natan Levy where he was taken down 9 times, I think that's what this fight looks like. So you could potentially replace the Said Nurmagomedov line with the Anshul Jubli line. If we take a look at takedowns, this is, Muhammad Makhachev over 3, that should be a no-brainer. This dude is averaging almost 7 per fight. He's fighting Tim Elliott, who's incredibly tough. Yes, he could submit Tim Elliott, catch him in something, but the over 3 takedowns is probably the way to go here. Let's remove Anshul and Said. We'll do the Muhammad Makhachev. Islam Makhachev, 3 takedowns. That's tricky. I trust the strike line more than the takedown one. Javid Bajra needs 3 to hit this. He took down, Victor Henry doesn't really get taken down. He's got phenomenal takedown defense. 5-time Brazilian national champion Hani Barcelos struggled to take him down. So I'm going to leave that one alone. Anshul Jubli over 1.5. That should hit. 2 takedowns should not be a problem for Anshul Jubli. I trust this more than the fight minutes. And Victoria Dudikova, we're not going to touch that because anything could happen in women's MMA, as we can know. Let's go ahead and lock this in. I will show you the entry that I had yesterday or 2 days ago with that 10 fight minutes. Here's that Said Nurmagomedov 10 fight minutes, and we had the more on that. Again, the line right now is 12.5, and that's why a premium membership is only freaking $10. So if you're doing $50, $100 entries, that $10 for a month, beating some of these lines is pretty important. So here's the entry that we have. Trevor Peek, more than 30.5 significant strikes. As I mentioned, he has beaten that at every single UFC fight he's ever had. Islam Makhachev, fewer than 55.5 significant strikes. He didn't get to that number the last time he fought Volkanovski. I don't think he will this time. Muhammad Makhachev, averaging 7 takedowns per fight, only needs 3 here against another grappler. I think he gets there. And then Anshul Jubli, 1.5 takedowns. We did the more. He only needs 2. I think these do hit. This was as a power play. I should have done a flex play. I typically do flex plays. That's where you can lose and still make money. The most important thing here, this is what I'm doing with my money. If you don't agree with these, don't just blindly copy paste. If you do agree, build your own entry, mix and match. But the most important thing is get your free money. Especially if you've never done this before, get the free money, take a look, build an entry with only the free money, and go from there. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. That promo code is WWP, and they're just going to go ahead and instantly give you that free money. You can use it, build an entry. If you win the entry, you can withdraw all that money, and you're good to go. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks, promo code WWP.